What's up, guys? Welcome to brobeatz. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some smooth G-Funk melodies from scratch. If you guys haven't subbed or turned post notifications on, make sure you do so because it does help out a lot. Let's hop right into it. BPM is in halftime, which is 95 for me. Any BPM around here should work for you, or you could just click half speed, but it's just easier just to go like 90, 80, anywhere in there is fine. All right. And I have a free drum kit for y'all. All right. And here it is. It's just a G-Funk drum kit. And it should be the first link in the description if you want to download that, or pinned in the comment section below. But you know, I got some kicks, some claps, and I got a bunch of basses here. All right, and open has just reverse stuff, and then these are the sounds that I'm using here. Okay, just so you can follow along if you want to, because this is a new style. I haven't done this yet. But yeah, that's gonna be it for that. And let's go ahead and grab in the scale real quick so we can make our melody. So let's go with something higher. Let's go with a C sharp. Let's name it. All right, now let's go ahead and start with our Rhodes or piano. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with these Rhodes. This is the preset I'm using. All right, keyscape, and let's go to piano roll. Now, this style is a little different, okay, because you got to do a little bit more. And one thing that I noticed with this style is it doesn't always start on the root, which is our C sharp. Okay, sometimes it starts on a different note. Now, I want this to be smooth. So if you go up, right? So if you were to make a chord here, right, the next note would be E. You could go there, but you can see where this is, right? This is in the spot where it's going to make it sound a little dark. Now, if you want that sound, you can. So we can just go up one from there, or you can actually follow the chord if you want. But I feel like that's a huge jump, so I'm gonna use this F sharp. All right, now from here, it's pretty easy. Now you just create a chord, right? Let me zoom in. You skip every other note, skip that note, boom. Now, with this style, what you wanna do is do 7th chords or even 9th chords, right? And basically just keep going, all right? All right, now since this is smooth, we want it to kind of play out. So I'm gonna actually just leave it just like this. And then what we can do, let's see, let's zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, is you can strum these. Okay, now I like to do it manually. And how you do that is you hold Alt and you can just drag it wherever. Okay, and then we can just mess with the velocity just a little bit. Now we can copy this, right? And we can go to our root and make sure everything is there. You can even take some notes out. Let me see. Do one more. Actually, with this one, let's pull this in so it's not the same exact pattern. And then let's pull this up an octave. Let's see how that sounds. Pull it back a bit. Pull the velocity down a little bit. And then at the end, can we go lower? So in this, so if you come to this like problem and you don't know what note to hit next, now we're on our root. So you can either go up an octave, I mean, not an octave, go up as if you're making a chord and basically like this, right? Or you can go backwards. And then that's how you can kind of find your next note. I hope that makes sense. So you can choose the E or the A. I might go A because I kind of want some darker tones. Well, not darker, but lower tones. And let's see. And basically we just finish this out. Pull it up an octave and then pull that up. And you can see how easy this is. And I'm going slow on this part because this is like, we're pretty much creating the entire song right now. And then let's pull the velocity down so it's a lot smoother. Copy it over. Okay, so for variation here, what we're gonna do is take this F sharp, and you can pick any note. Just because I'm picking the F sharp doesn't mean you have to pick it, but I'm just doing it because I just want to. So we can pull this like maybe right here. You can offset it a little bit, make it sound a little bit more realistic. And then with Rhodes, make sure you mess with the velocity, okay? So it has a little bit smoother. And then over here, zoom in. What we can do is maybe let's offset this a little bit and then bring it back in. Pull the velocity down. See how that sounds. And let's pull this one back now. All right, so that's it for the chords, and now we can move on to the next instrument. All right, so let's go ahead and use our guitar. Now you can insert any sound you want here, but this is just what I picked. All right, so this is the sound here, and to get a good sound on these VSTs, you want to put this multi-tracking on 2. All right, so it sounds a little better. Okay, and then I have the harmonics preset picked here, so it's like plucky. Now let's go in here, and what we're actually gonna do is take off this, and we can just put it over here real quick so that we can see the blueprint of what we have. So we can play this differently now. So let's go zoom in, and we can literally just make it. That's too much. All right, and then maybe something. Give it a different rhythm. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking over here because we already got these chords down, right? We already got these. So I'm looking over here as reference. As you can see, if we pull this over, it matches, right? So that's all I'm doing. Let's pull it over. Then let's do this again, but the same pattern. And this, what I'm doing right now, is probably the most difficult part, really, because this is like the blueprint we're making. And then we could put one right before, and then finish this out. Simple as that. And just something like that, just copying those chords and playing them differently with another instrument can add a lot to it. So let's play it one more time. And something right there doesn't sound right. So pull that down. All right, whatever. It'll mesh into there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for that guitar. So now let's move on to this glass bell. All right, so now we're gonna do our glass bell or pad. And this is the preset. This is in the hardware section in Omnisphere. Okay. And what we can do is just copy this over actually, because this is more of a pad. It's not supposed to be like in your face. It's just supposed to be adding. So what I'm gonna do is highlight, Control A, and then Control Q to quantize everything. And then actually I'm gonna just copy it over and like that. And I'll just play it by itself so you can hear it. Okay, pretty simple. So now let's move on to the next one. All right, so we got the basic parts down. So now we're just going to be using the notes that we have all up here to create everything else. Now for the strings, pretty easy. Right click this, go to the strings and paste it. Now what you want to do is hold Control and then L so that all the notes go out, and you can even quantize it if you need to. Now I'm going to highlight it all, Control A, go to Tools, Chop. And then if your chop doesn't look like this, if it looks like this, then just pull it all the way to the right until it kind of goes on the grid that you have. Accept. Now we're not done yet. I like to pull these back a little bit, and just because I'm doing it this way doesn't mean that you need to do it this way. If you want to make like a little melody or something with your strings, go ahead. And I'm gonna pull the velocity down a bit because I don't want them to be super loud. I just kind of want it in the background. All right, so there's the string. So now let's move on to the next instrument. All right, so now we're gonna do our vibes, and real quick, the way that we're making these melodies, it wouldn't actually be like this if you were being authentic to the style. You would spread these out a lot more, and it just wouldn't be, you know, all in one like this. You would have like specific spots. So keep that in mind when making these. All right, and I will go over specific styles for certain producers in that community later, but right now I just want this kind of generic way of making it so you kind of get it down. All right, so let's start with this. Now, the reason I don't have the scale here is so that you can see your roadmap, because everything is laid out for us. You can see the chord here, right? And we can just offset it, and then you can just paste these wherever. All right, and I kind of want it to come in a little quicker, and we can just pull that velocity and just see if we like this or not. Put that B right there, and you see how easy that was. Now we can copy this over. And real quick, if you didn't know this, you know, a lot of times you just stop it here. What you can do is hold, let me zoom in, hold Alt, click and drag, and you can pull it all the way back. And now it will continue all the way through. All right. So now let's fix this to match our first chords. So we can just put that F sharp somewhere in here. Maybe right here might be good. Okay, I really like that. So that is our vibes. Let's move on to our lead. All right, so let's go ahead and do this lead. Now, I didn't show you guys these strings and vibes. So this is the VST and the preset, full string staccato, sample tank, and then lounge lizard for our like vibes. And then this one is for our lead. Now, this isn't the lead that I wanted, but it was the best one that I could find in the amount of time that I had to get these presets. In future videos, I'll probably find a way better preset, but for now we can work with this. Just go ahead and go in here and just kind of, I kind of like that actually. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this B because we already used it. And we could probably even go up to the C sharp for like a flam. So okay, we're just reusing notes. Okay, root note right here. And then let's go to the F sharp now, maybe right here. Let's copy that over, and we could just do some slight changes. And instead of this going down, we could probably pull this up, back up here. Pull this up an octave. And let me make sure I zoom in for you. And we can pull that down an octave and see how that sounds. All right, now it's getting a little synth wavy. So let's go ahead and move on to the next instrument. All right, so now this is the easiest part. It's just some texture. I just found this preset in this plugin. All right, I just thought it was a nice sound, so we can kind of just, it doesn't really matter where you place it. Just throw that in. You don't need this. I just thought it was a cool sound to use. So starting not to like that lead because I don't think it fits, but I'm gonna keep it just because we already did it. I'm gonna keep it. So let's go ahead and move on to our bass. All right, so the last one that we're gonna use is our bass, and this is the bass that I'm using. All right, and that's the closest thing I could find to the bass I was thinking of in my head, but now the only problem is that I can't do slides. Right, it doesn't really slide that well. Okay, so we're gonna keep this fairly simple. But with this, now you can go about this two ways. You can start on the same note, the same starting note as your first chord, right? Which is what I'm gonna do. Or if you want a slightly different sound, you can actually start on your root and it'll give you a little different sound, okay? But I'm gonna start on here and let's go a little lower. And I'm gonna kind of, and then what I usually like to do is you go up. So you want to go down a little bit. Then go back down. And that's how we kind of get that dynamic, right? So now go back down into our root, and it's going to sound good because it's the root note of our entire scale. Copy it over, and boom, there's our entire melody now. Let's play it all together real quick. All right, so now half of it is done. So the part that's gonna really make it sound like G-Funk is the drum. So let's go ahead and get to the drums. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do these drums. Now this should be pretty easy. Now, like I said earlier, this isn't supposed to be played like this. So it's gonna sound like a lot, and you know, we're not gonna use every single thing here. But usually when you arrange it, everything will be kind of spread out and you will have like a specific purpose in the actual song, right? It wouldn't just be played all together all the time. So then you would have more room to put even more drums if you want to, okay? So let's go on pattern 2, and then let's just throw these claps down. It can kind of layer everything, and this is probably like gonna be the easiest patterns you make. Layer this kick, something like that. Of course, we want that velocity up. Even put a little bit up on here as well. Do the snare. Okay, and we got this hat. Now let's right click and let me remove this from the background. Just right click main hat, fill each 2 steps. Now what I like to do here is highlight every other one and you can just pull them down a bit. All right, and just give it a little bit of groove. And you can just do the same thing here. And then let's put one of these. And let me see. I don't think I need all these open hats. Maybe turn it down. All right, so now we got these reverse snare and clap. Now you want to put it right before because it'll like slide into the claps and make it sound really nice. So it's pretty much the drums. Now we just put these down. And it's going to be very repetitive, but it's all right. So now we just play everything all together, and I'll just even turn off some instruments and stuff as I go. So play it. All right, and that's going to be it. And we can even do a lot more to this if we wanted to. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.